Hello and welcome back to Pump with Purpose. This is Dr. Diana here. I am the CEO and founder of Pump with Purpose. We are a global lactation and postpartum private practice where we teach women all around the world to breast pump. This is another podcast episode where we want to normalize pumping and let the world know that we pump with purpose. It is our global mission here at Pump with Purpose, and it is so important. So on this podcast episode, we are going to talk about ways to navigate weaning. We know, we go through our whole journey and now we're getting to the point where we're having thoughts about weaning. And I wanted to give you some secret sauce, drop some gems, some nuggets to let you know all about navigating weaning from the pump and everything in between. So regardless if you are weaning, let's address the elephant in the room. Sometimes we wean because we want to, we need to. Sometimes we wean before we're ready. Sometimes we have gone on and we know that it's time. Whatever your truth is to why you are weaning, embrace it. Okay. We're at the point, we're having the conversation, or you're at least thinking about it. We are big. We're going to tell you first and foremost, we are a big place and space for natural term weaning. Pump with Purpose, I'll give you some background, some history. Pump with Purpose actually started from my weaning journey. I had a goal to pump for 2 years. So the first time around, I pumped for 9 months. I saved up at least 3,000 ounces to get my child from 9 months to 12 months until we got pregnant with our second child. It was strategically planned. We knew we wanted them close together. And it was not safe for me to continue pumping while I was pregnant. So I knew about that. So I strategically went through a plan to navigate that piece of it to be done by 9 months and have enough breast milk to get my baby from 9 months to 12 months. But that didn't stop the mom guilt. That didn't stop the fact that I didn't give my baby fresh breast milk for a full 12 months. So thankful for the ability to build the frozen stash. But that's my truth, and that's the truth, and that's my truth, and the facts are the facts. That's what I felt. So on my second journey, I fed with the pump, providing pump breast milk, express breast milk, whatever you want to call it, for over 3 years, providing my infant and my toddler breast milk. So my original plan was to go for 2 years, right? Because I was like, unless we have another child, there's no reason to stop. So in starting Pump with Purpose in May of 2021, I was approaching my 2-year journey of September, and I was getting sad. I was like, oh my gosh, am I ready to be done? And I'm ended up turning into a big fan of natural term weaning, and I'm going to talk about and explain to that in a moment. But I got to the 2-year mark, or getting to the 2-year mark, and I'm like, this is sad. And was like, you need to write a book. You need to write a book. I talk better than I can write. If you know anything about Pump with Purpose, we love to talk. We could talk all day long, right? I was so nervous when I did this full time that I was gonna not have a voice any longer, but it holds up. Some days it may crack more than others, but it is holding up. So I was all sad about weaning. So then I said, well, let me not be sad. Let's turn those lemons into lemonade. So, through the suggestions to write a book, I was like, no, they're like, why don't you start a business, help women pump? Who the heck is out here really helping women to pump 2+ years ago? Like, what? I was like, but then it sat with me, and I'm like, maybe I can, help other women not struggle like I did. Or I didn't really struggle, but I had to figure out a lot by myself. And I'm a big type A. Here's the plan. This is what we're going to do. If this don't work, we doing this. And if this don't work, we doing this, right? That's how I carry my journeys. And so I was like, if I can help other women navigate, not spend product after product. So people think, of course, we have over 60 pumps in here now that we bought, we get gifted all of the pumps. Well, honestly, Pump with Purpose at least had 20 pumps before I even started. I tried before I even started Pump with Purpose, because I was on the mindset of, I need to try this. They said this is good, and this is good, and this is good. And you walk down this rabbit hole of either you're making enough milk and what you have is good, but you're still looking for the next best thing for what, right? Or you try to make more because you're in the wrong tools. So either way, you really do need to be in the right tools, and you don't need to be guessing at it. So I was getting sad about weaning, so I started Pump with Purpose, and I've been going 2 years strong since then. It all started out of my weaning journey, being sad of potentially weaning. Well, I tell you, I was at almost 2 years then, but I went over 3. Because I was like, I'm helping people. I'm showing them that people that look like me, people that don't look like me, people that pump like me, people that don't pump like me, that you can go as long as you want. Pumping is a viable, sustainable, long-term solution. So regardless if you're exclusive pumping, you can go as long as you want. And regardless if you are nursing and adding pumping to your journey, you can go as long as you want. You are putting a pump to those nips at some point in your journey. You can go as long as you want. And that's what we are using, Pump with Purpose, because every time you pull up to the pump, we want it to be with a purpose, whether it's to make enough milk for your baby, whether it's to save milk for a freezer stash, whether it's to donate milk, whether it's to extend your journey longer and stop sooner, or extend your journey even longer and go longer, because my freezer stash lasted over 3 years as well. So whatever the reason is, we want you to know that birth trauma produces purpose. You're getting to the end, and I'm going to give you the number one secret sauce in all of this. If you're not ready to wean, don't wean. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again with even more force. If you, on the sound of my voice, you are not ready to wean, do not let societal pressures, do not let family, do not let friends, do not let the fact that you are getting to a certain point that's deemed by society as like all that your baby should need. You do not have to do so. Let me give you the secret sauce of two things. You either get resentful to the people that are telling you need to wean. First of all, it ain't their nips, so why they worrying about it, right? Number one. Number two is, if you wean too soon, please understand, people think, oh, I'm going to wean and it's going to make my life so much better. They don't tell you on the other end of all the people that contact me dealing with postpartum anxiety or depression or sadness or mom guilt, because they wean before they're ready. Please understand, if you have to continue to think about if you're ready to wean, you're not ready to wean. I'm just going to tell you that right now. When every time I dropped a pump, I was ready to do so. I won't going back. Even though at one point I did try to go back up because I got a little real sad about like, oh my gosh, but it was over 2 years in at that point. Oh, like we really about to make a little bit less, like single digit milk. I got nervous, right? 10 to 15 ounces. I was I'll walk you through. My height was 50 to 55. At age 1, I was at 30 to 35. At age 2, I was at 10 to 15 ounces. And then age 3, of course, I was right around 5. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to talk about that in a moment. But, I was at age 2 around 10 to 15 when I started dropping to seeing those single digits per day. I was like, oh, I ain't ready for this. So I went back up in my pumps, went back up, tried to go back up to 8, never made it back up to 8. First of all, people that keep telling y'all drop, you can add it back. I can tell you that's BS. The people that keep telling y'all this stuff you can and cannot do, they don't pump all day long. So you got to know where you're getting your information from. It's really hard to go back once you drop. Like, yes, you can, but will you want to? Is it going to work? It's a whole nother story. So don't start dropping pumps until you are absolutely ready. Yes, you can go back, but it doesn't mean you will, and it will be as successful. Some people, if you're like me, you can drop pumps and still try to add it back and not get the milk supply back that you used to have. That's me. That's my truth. That's why I keep telling y'all, stop dropping pumps if you're not ready to. So I got to the point that I was ready to wean. And I'm just here to tell you, first and foremost, if you're not ready, then don't. If you are, it will be easy to drop. You're not going to have as much sadness. Not going to say you're not going to be sad, but it's not going to be the same type of sadness. Like when you are ready, you are ready. So please wait until you're ready. But when you are ready, slow and steady wins the race. Like when people like, I want to wean in 2 weeks, and you got 50 ounces a day. Let me break the barrel and be the whole barrel of bad news. No, and no, not going to happen. It's really, really hard to do that fast. Like unless something is really, really going on, you run the risk of clogged ducts, mastitis, engorgement, and it is just not recommended. Slow and steady over time is what is good. So you're at the point where you want to wean. You need to make a decision, the best option for you and your family. Everyone's breastfeeding journey is different. So if you are ready to wean, let's talk about some things to do. Like I said, slow and steady. That's going to win the race. Stop rushing yourself to be done. It could take 2 to 3 months with oversupply. If you are making more than enough milk for your baby, depending on where you are when you are ready to wean, it can take up to 2 to 3 months. I have people, especially when they're weaning, I'm going to give you some secret sauce, especially when they're trying to wean before age 1. Like we really don't recommend really starting that weaning journey until after, because sometimes it can be fast, but sometimes, you're trying to wean so quickly and your body's like, I ain't ready. I'm sorry. I don't care what you do. I'm not ready. I've had clients that were making 80 ounces a day at 8 pumps per day. They had weaned down to 4 and they're still making 80. Like, please understand, especially when you work with Pump with Purpose, I'm just going to tell you, it can be like that. We offer 2 different ways to work with us, regardless of how you decide to feed. Like, we are big on if you're putting a pump to those nips. So we have the one-on-one virtual premier pumping consults, and then we have the Pump with Purpose University group online monthly membership. So regardless of which way, we still want you to be slow and steady. You really want to understand what you are doing and when you wean. When we go through a weaning consult, on average, it takes about 30 minutes. If you feel like you got a whole bunch of questions, you may want to do 45, but definitely 30 to go through all the ways to drop. We give you times. We can set dates. But we usually recommend not, because we tell our clients all the time, we can put the dates in, but be flexible. If you get to a certain point and you're like, wait, this happened too fast, I'm not ready to go this fast just yet, grant yourself some grace. If you got a date in mind and you know that you want to be done, give yourself 2 to 3 months. Pull up. Let's go through them and tell you right now, the way the internet tells you to wean is not how we tell you to wean in Pump with Purpose. I give you that secret sauce for the free, because it's really depending on what your oversupply is. You really want to be careful with how you're doing it. So you need to determine a new schedule with every single pump. These people telling you to like do this and no, you need a whole new schedule with every single pump, not this combining into the other and all the things. Like, what are you talking about? You don't even know what someone's stretch of sleep is, and they're just like, oh, this is my time, and you just move this together. That may not be ideal. You really need to determine a new schedule with every single pump, and that's what we help you to do as well. You need to track when you do drop pumps. I tell people all the time, when you drop pumps, did you lose 5 ounces? Did you lose 2 ounces? Did you lose 10 ounces? Is something else going on? But if you know how to write tools, that means you typically drop even more than what you intend, but you need to track to understand. So when I see someone, they're like, well, I dropped about 5 ounces per session. So then we know potentially we may need to expect around 5 ounces as we go forward. It doesn't mean it can't be more. It doesn't mean it can't be less, but you give a better idea of what to expect if you track it. And regardless of what is going on, you really need to grant yourself some grace. Stop being so hard on yourself, especially to my people that are weaning before they're ready or getting medical diagnosis or a medical issue that's going on. And I've had that in several clients now, sadly, that have had things that they've discovered after working with me that they needed to know, right, for their health, because all these people have this eat more, drink more, pump more, sleep more, stress less mentality, and they're not telling you to check your blood. They're not telling you to talk with your doctor. They're not telling you to, make sure that you're understanding any underlying concerns that may be present in your body or may be present during pregnancy or before pregnancy. If you had breast surgery before, whatever the reason is, some people, you really need to be pulling up to the pump sooner. You really need to be, making sure you understand your body, regardless, even if you're ready to, whenever you're ready to wean. Like, you need to get answers. I have people contacting me and they'll say, well, I didn't really make what I wanted to make. Do I just call this pump journey a wash and wait for the next baby? Nope, and more nope. You need to ask me for that. But you're over here listening to weenies. I need to let you know. You don't know what's going on. You need to pull up beforehand. We need to bring your doctor beforehand. Find out what's going on so we know what to tackle, versus you spend time weaning, go through the journey of, all the feelings and everything, get ready to have another baby, and now you have no answer still with the next baby. You don't know. And so you really need to understand what your body is telling you before you start dropping pumps, because it's not good to get blood work done trying to drop all these pumps. I tell clients all the time, and we think something is going on, like, stick with me, struggle with me for at least another couple of weeks. Let's bring in your doctor. Let's get everything looked at to figure out if something else going on. Because if you find out something else is going on and it's fixable, like, quickly, you will literally do whatever the doctor says, and then people go on to make more than enough milk. They're like, thank you so much for not giving up on me. I'm going to not give up on you. I'm going to stay faithful in you longer than you stay faithful in you, because I believe that anything can be possible. I've had to have those tough conversations, usually tied to, something really, really happening bad at birth, like hemorrhaging really bad and it's hard to recover, or having retained placenta where they leave back parts of your placenta that can be detrimental to your milk supply. So some people like that will have to wean a lot earlier than anticipated. But I'm still like, let's exhaust all the options before we stop. Like, and I really do. I'm like, let's go through, let's bring in the doctor. Let's make sure we brought in a lactation professional specialized in milk supply, that we know. When we close this chapter, there are some answers, and that's all I want for you, is to have some answers. So regardless, we are here for a 30-minute weaning consultation. Just to start, we've had to do a couple of different plans, just depending on what your goals are for weaning. But when you do wean, you want to go slow and steady. Pull up, get the care that you deserve beforehand, especially. Don't listen to the internet when it comes to weaning. Like, they're telling you to do all these different things. And we don't know what you're reading because the internet is full of internet stuff. But we have a strategic plan once we know what your oversupply is, or if you do not have an oversupply, where your supply is in general. We cannot give you a plan without understanding where things are. People just giving this cookie cutter, one size fits all bandwagon approach to weaning. And it's not cool. It's really it can make you go too fast. You have issues. You want to make sure you're emptying out your breasts effectively and efficiently, even through weaning. Know that's some secret sauce, because there's no way that you're going to get where you need to go without having a plan to understand your body and what it has told you before you decide to wean, what it's doing. So you can come up with effective and an efficient plan to wean. So we hope this information is helpful. We hope you are wanting to work with us regardless on this journey to help you to wean. We really, really want to be a part of your care team. If you are a current client of ours and you have listened to this, don't listen to the internet. You know that's going to be easy for me to tell you if you're a current client to not listen to the internet, because you know that everything that we would have told you when we put together your personalized pumping plan, when we put together a personalized weaning plan, it is all applicable. So definitely we are here. If you want to talk, if you need support, you need help, we want to be a part of your journey. So you can find us in two places. There are two ways to work with us. There's the Premier Pumping Consult one-on-one, where we go through personalized plans with you to help you with what you have going on based on your goals, your journey, your preferences, your lifestyle. And then we have the Pump with Purpose University online group monthly membership, where we literally you pull up, we talk through what's going on in a group format. We learn better for some people in a group, and we love helping you in that way as well. So you can check us out, www.pumpwithpurpose.com. You can check out our Pump with Purpose app on all Google and Apple devices. Just put in pumpwithpurpose.com. If you want to kind of dip your toe in a little bit to get to know us, follow us on all different 15 social media platforms, and we are happy to have you there to really let you get to know us, and we are there to help you when you need help, and hopefully even before you need help, because we really believe that we don't want you waiting until things get really, really bad before you pull up to get the care that you deserve. So this is Dr. Diana here. Until next time with Pump with Purpose.